That's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Good morning to Shishi Radhakala Chanjidam. Good morning to all of the assembled devotees. It is always a great amount of mercy to be able to come before the Lord in whatever capacity we have to offer Him. And because we get the opportunity, especially to speak from the scripture, I think it's proper to, before anything is said, ask for forgiveness in case there are any offenses that are done during the process of speaking. Yeah, I think that's proper. We're continuing to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, and we're reading about the prayers by Queen Kunti. I think it's important to note that there's a chapter that's been given to Queen Kunti that says a lot about, well, just briefly, it says a lot about the importance of a female. There's a chapter, and the Lord gives so much mercy, not only to females, but males also. But when I was going over this, I thought about how many chapters are there in the scriptures that are dedicated to a female. Maybe there's more, but I thought that was very precious, very special. But before we read from the text, it's always proper to share songs about the love between Radha and Krishna by singing Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jararanjanan Yashoda Nandana Braja Jararanjanan Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Kalachandji, Radha Kalachandji Radhe. Radha Kalachandji. Jaya Radha Kalachandji, Radha Kalachandji Radhe. Jaya Jaya Jagannath, 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 Jaya Jaya Jagannath, 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 Jaya Jaya, Jaya Jaya Baladev, 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 Jaya Jaya Baladev, Baladev, Baladev. Jaya Jaya Subhadra, 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 Jaya Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jaya Gornitai, 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 Jaya Jaya Gornitai. Nitai Goro Haribo, 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 Nitai Goro Haribo. As usual, their lordships are absolutely, exquisitely beautiful. Absolutely. So much so that to the point where it's almost fruitless for me to say anything else because they speak volumes. But because I was asked to speak, I guess I will speak some. Hopefully something that will sit with you and touch your heart in some way. And if not, maybe whatever is said and you don't grasp it, put it on a shelf and revisit it later. So, text, chapter 8 is all about the prayers by Queen Kunti. And because the translation and the purport are short, this won't be a very long session. And I think I'll do something a little bit different that I don't ordinarily do when I'm giving, when I have an opportunity to sit before the Lordship and speak from the scriptures. But I'll share that with you a little later. So text 44, we don't write it on the board anymore? Oh, good. Text 44. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Kinyana Timrandasya Gananjananjalakaya Chakshul militam yena tashma Shri Guruve namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dati Swapadandikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Gripa Sandubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavebhya Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadaraha Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, yes, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 44. Sutta uvacha prite yatam kalapadai parenuta kilo daya mandam jahasa vakunto mahayan iva maya sutta uvacha prite yam tam kalapadi parenuta kilo daya mandam jahasa vakunto mohayan iva mayaya. Anyone want to repeat that? Pritayatam kalapadhyay. Radinuta kiladoya. Mandam jahasa vaikunto. Mohayan iva mayaya. Anyone else? Sutta vacha. Pritayatam kalapadhyaya. Parivrinta kalodaya. Mandam jahasa vaikunto. Mohayaniva mayaya. Anyone else? Sutta uvacha. Ritayatam kalapadaye. Parinata kilodaya. Madam jahasa vaikunto. Mohayaniva mayaya. Thank you. Sutta uvacha. Sutta said, Pritaya, by Prita Kunti, Itam, this, Kalapadya, by chosen words, Parinuta, being worship, Akila, universal, Udaya, glories, Mandam, mildly, Jahasa, smiled, Vaikunta, the Lord, Mohayan, captivating, Iva, like, Mayaya, his mystic power. Translation. Sutta Goswami said, the Lord, thus hearing the prayers of Kunti Devi, composed in choice words for his glorification, mildly smiled. That smile was as enchanting as his mystic power. We'd like to read that again. Sutta Goswami said, the Lord, thus hearing the prayers of Kunti Devi, composed in choice words for his glorification, mildly smiled. That smile was as enchanting as his mystic power. And the purport here, anything that is enchanting in the world is said to be a representation of the Lord. The conditioned souls who are engaged in trying to lord it over the material world are also enchanted by his mystic powers. But his devotees are enchanted in a different way, by the glories of the Lord, and his merciful blessings are upon them. His energy is displayed in different ways, as electrical energy works in manifold capacities. Srimati Kunti Devi has prayed to the Lord just to enunciate a fragment of his glories. All his devotees worship him in that way, by chosen words, and therefore the Lord is known as Uttama Shloka. No amount of chosen words is sufficient to enumerate the Lord's glory, and yet he is satisfied by such prayers as the Father is satisfied even by the broken linguistic attempts of the growing child. The word Maya is used both in the sense of delusion and mercy. Herein, the word Maya is used in the sense of the Lord's mercy upon Kunti Devi. Namo Vishnu Vinaya, Krishna Vasaya, Shimadi Bhakti Tirtha Swami Namani Namaste Krishna Prabhupada Astriyatmane Shri Guru Guru Nishakti Bhakti Tirtha Swami Namaste Krishna Prabhupada Astriyatmane Shri Guru Guru Nishakti. When I read these last two sentences, it confused me because when I think of Maya, I think of illusion and delusion. But here it's mentioning mercy. So that confused me. I'm going, wait, how is Maya mercy? So, as is naturally typical of me, I will probably investigate to the utmost on something minute, but this is big. This is a different interpretation of Maya. And I think about what the chapter is all about. It's about the prayers by Queen Kunti. And I have to tell you, the prayers that she made, and one particular prayer specifically, it is so powerful unless you understood what is necessary in order to serve the Lord and to be, I won't say approachable, but in order to be in a devotional position, but loving and humble position, this is the type of prayer one would make. But you have to have an awful lot of faith in the Lord in order to make it, because when I first heard the prayer, I thought, I don't know that I could ever make that prayer. And this was years and years ago when I came to Krishna consciousness. And the prayer is from text 25. And it is a powerful prayer. And it is one that we must keep in mind from day to day, because each and every one of us has at some point in time had a situation or a scenario where something has happened. And at the time that it's happening, probably the last thing you're asking is, do it again. Do it again. Or let it happen again. Personally, if I'm going through something, it's like, make it stop, make it stop. But this is a strong prayer, and it's a powerful one. The translation is, I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again, so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we no longer see repeated births and deaths. So no matter how many times I read that, I still told myself, I don't know that I'm ever at that point in my life But as time goes on in life, you understand that there's some things that the Lord kind of soothes for you and makes it acceptable for you, and it helps you to understand that there are some ways that you can pray to the Lord and go through the challenges that He gives you and be in a position to say thank you. Because there's an old saying that you can't appreciate the sunshine unless you have a little rain. And that is the same note or the same message that I'm getting here from Queen Kunti's prayer. Who among us can think back to where we first came to Krishna consciousness, what we went through, all the things that we went through, and where we are right now, and are we in a position to say, whatever those things are that happened along the way on this path to Krishna consciousness, let it happen again because I am at my best place possible in life. Is there anyone that wants to share, maybe not go into so much detail, but you want to share a situation where at the time things were happening, it was very intense, very severe, and you probably didn't know whether or not you were going to get through it. But when you look back from where you came and you see where you are now, you notice such a profound difference in your life. Because just to start it off, personally, I remember coming into Krishna consciousness hesitantly because I thought I was doing someone a favor. I thought I was doing my brother-in-law a favor. You know, he gives me this book and he wants me to read it. So, oh, let me do him a favor. Let me read this book. But from that point where I read the book and the years that it took me to decide this was a path that I wanted to go on, so many intense things happened. And things that would bring the average person to their knees. And I would have to say I've been brought to my knees many times. And still, from time to time, even though we are on this path and we're at this particular point, there will be challenges. But I can definitely say I can look back, and if those things had not happened the way they happened, then I wouldn't be here in this particular environment, in the association of particular devotees, and at more peace than I've ever been in my entire life, and without anything to add to my body to make me feel better. It's the holy name, the name of the Lord, the association of devotees that gives me the happiness that I could not have had many years ago. Years ago, if you told me, yes, say these words and then you're going to feel like this, I never would have believed you. I would have blown it off completely. But I am sure there are individuals here that can share something about the path that they've been on some time back, many, many years ago. And that path may not have been the most pleasant, but at this point, you're very happy to be here because this is the best possible place to be. With the knowledge that we have, and also the responsibility that we have of this knowledge. Side point, we're not supposed to hold on to this knowledge. We're supposed to share it. This is very special. But is there anyone that wants to share some brief moment in their life, some time ago, yesterday, years ago, where you would not have imagined that at this point now, this is where you are, and guaranteed you're in a better place? Anyone want to be that personal? We're one big family, so we can share. Anyone?
I will. Um, I will. Um,
Ah,
so, yeah, I was a college student and went to a party, and sure enough, the punch was spiked.
ooh,
And anyway, I ended up in the hospital,
oh,
left my body,
Krishna.
and I realized when I left my body that I was not my body because I could hear my mom crying and I could see her, but and then I went to the other room and there my body was, and then I went above the earth and I saw the earth planet, and basically I was kind of hovering there waiting, and the earth was a beautiful woman inside a globe, and she was discussing something with another very high being, and then finally she asked the being, "What about this one?" And they said she's not ready, and I bam went back into my body, and I realized, okay, there's a lot more going on than I
Wow.
realized. So
Buddy,
that was
oh,
my,
you've got a lot to
it's
be
in a
happy
nutshell.
about. I mean, such realizations. Intense. Anyone else? That sounds so familiar. But is there something you wanted to share? Or I had a similar situation where, um, when I was becoming more serious in Krishna consciousness, and I wasn't even everything I was doing wasn't perfect, but Krishna was giving me so much mercy. I remember having a dream, and I remember being very much aware. Okay, and after I say this, don't call the people and have them put me in a funny bag or something or take me to the hospital. There are really things that go on in devotee's life, but this actually happened. Um, and I recall Krishna being somewhere close by, and I wanted to go with him. I wanted to touch his feet. And a voice said, "Now is not your time." So, Mother Kunti, that reminded me of something that I never really share with anyone because it's like, who's going to believe this? But devotees have the most amazing, amazing experiences. And if you're not having them, something's wrong. You're doing something wrong because Krishna is giving you an amazing experience every day. Every time we wake up, it could be an opportunity for us to do something that day, or we could be on our cooling board, as they used to call it, in a morgue somewhere. So every day that you get an opportunity, take advantage of it. But also realize that as we think of Maya being illusion, and yes, it is, the opportunity of mercy is also in Maya because, as Mother Kunti Devi is saying, you know, all of these experiences, I want them over and over again. And the reason why she wants them over and over again is because she gets an opportunity to see the Lord. Anyone that has an opportunity to see the Lord will share with you and tell you that is the most, it's got to be the most amazing experience anyone has ever had. Yes, it is possible to see him. Don't make that your major point in life. I got to see Krishna. I got to see. Make it a point that you were seen by him doing something, doing some type of devotional service. Um, there are different sections in the scripture where it says, the more the Lord is loving you and caring for you, the more he takes away things from you. If your path is, I got to have a lot of money, I've got to have the right partner, I've got to have the right house, the right car, and that's your path, and that's it, you're on the wrong path. Lakshmi and Krishna go together. One without the other, especially the desire to have things and not include Krishna in it and not make him partner. Because there's nothing that we have that's ours. Absolutely nothing. Whatever we have is his. He kindly gives it to us. And sometimes we, with such pettiness, we hold on to it thinking, this is mine. But I've discovered that the more you release and let go, the more Krishna gives you. He will not ever be outdone. You will never give him more than he will give you. But in times like this, when there is so much craziness going on in the world, you name it, nothing is happening the way it happened 5 years ago, let alone 3 years ago. And the telling part about that is it's not ever going to be the same again. But the point is, as devotees, as those that understand the Lord and have a relationship and an association with the Lord, you understand no matter what crosses your path, no matter what heaviness happens, whatever situation is, whatever it is, if it's to the point where you can barely stand it, where you don't know where your next whatever is coming from. As a devotee, we have been given a special boon. We know that Krishna will take care of his own. And it is to the degree of our devotion that we are taken care of by Krishna. So even though sometimes we can be imperfect in our chanting, in our service, as long as we keep trying, even though things will happen, it doesn't mean that we're doing anything wrong. A lot of things that happen are from previous times. And they say it's in the, it's either, what is it, Adhyatmika, Adhidevika, or Adhibautika. Either of those three miseries. So we can never say, Krishna, why are you doing this to me? No. Whatever's happening, we've done it to ourselves. To the degree that it happens, Krishna can step in and he can level that. That's totally up to him. So it's very, very, very important, the life that we live, how we interact with others. Because if we don't remember what we're doing, Krishna has an amazing memory. He knows what we did many, many lifetimes ago. Our best possible service is to serve one another, to be kind to each other, to treat each other like a family member, because believe it or not, we are all one big family. Don't care how, yes, howdy, bo. I don't care where you were born. We are one big family. It doesn't matter what the culture is. And if we were to understand that, there would not be the discontent in the world that is existing now. Some of it is based on what your religion is, what your political affiliation is, what you have, what your culture is, what your, as petty as it is, what your race is, what your, the color of your, you cut my skin and you cut yours and we're gonna bleed blood. Same, everything's the same. These are just packages that the body's in. And sometimes when you're not intelligent enough, you get hung up with that. But the point is, we need to remember that we have been given a blessing to have this human life form. It is the highest life form. We get an opportunity to decide whether or not we're going to do this or do that. Animals do not have that opportunity. We're held responsible. Animals are not. Whatever happens in your life, whatever is going on, unless you have a foundation of Krishna or God consciousness, I don't know how anyone's going to make it. I cannot make it without Krishna. I cannot make it without the understanding that Krishna is going to pick me up when I fall, that he's going to be there, that he has my back, that he's surrounding me. I can't make it. And some people are so puffed up and arrogant that they think they know everything and they can take care of everything and they can do anything, and they don't realize, but by the mercy of God, by the mercy of the Lord, their position in life can change in the blink of an eye. So there was this one song, when I was growing up as a Baptist, there was a phrase, and it didn't make sense, but it comes to mind now. And the one line was, "Count it all joy," which meant that whether it was good or bad, count it all joy. We need to understand that as things are happening in our lives, as we're doing the needful, as we're doing what we need to do, keep doing it. Krishna's got you covered. It may be something that needs to be ironed out or straightened out from your past. Keep doing it. Don't ever lose the connection with the Lord. Don't think that he doesn't love you. He loves you more than you realize. So much more than you realize. So I came to terms with the last sentence here, the word Maya, being used both in the sense of delusion and mercy. We can get mercy from certain situations, and it's like making the very best of a situation. They're all relative. There's always a purpose behind it. It's up to us as to how we react to it. So, surprisingly, I'm going to end sooner than you probably thought I was. Does anyone want to share any observations, any thoughts, any realizations?
Thank you, Mataji. That was very humbling. And I would like to share some experiences that I've had in Krishna consciousness. First and foremost, there was one time when me and my parents were doing japa together, and me and my dad, we had kind of had a little bit of bickering right before, just because it was some stuff, and it was actually whether we should chant along with Prabhupada recording on YouTube or not. And my dad was I wanted to. I was like, let's do it. And my dad was a little ambivalent. Perhaps he probably knew more than me as to what the resultant consequences were of that. Then he was maybe not trying to avoid it, but he was trying to. That's something he probably wanted to go through alone, not in front of the whole family. I didn't understand that at all. So we got into a little bicker. My mom obviously stepped in, and we resolved the situation, and we did the japa. And after the japa, my dad was so elated. He went in front of our little tulsi plant that we have and started doing the Yani Yani Chapa Pani song. And then I was able to join him, and it was such an ecstatic moment. So that was a very nice experience as well. Very nice experience that I had. Krishna being very merciful, let me allowed that and allowed that to happen with my parents. And then another very big opportunity that I've had was I was able to serve my mother a little Gopal Murti, and I would have never thought of doing that, giving that to my mom. It would have never occurred to me had Krishna in form of Paramatma or some higher understanding given me that intelligence that, hey, my mom's rasa is kind of vatsalya, so like, he's hinted that to me. So I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And I mean, I do love my parents, so I wanted to do that for them. And then lastly, a very big opportunity, very big moment and opportunity that I had to serve my parents was also when we had I saw this very nice drama that came up on I think our Bhakti Vriksha group. It was the life of Hanuman.
Mm.
And so I watched it just one morning casually. I was just watching it, and I really loved the theater. The theater that they did was very splendid. I was very moved by it, and so I was like, I have to show my parents this. So very mercifully, Krishna uh, let the events happen in a very fluid and congruent way
Mm.
that it was seamless to kind of engage him in watching this theater.
Yeah.
Um, so those are very nice experiences that I've had in Krishna consciousness. I'm very appreciative for that.
Thank you for sharing that.
Very-
You know, sometimes when we step back and we have a desire, and maybe we don't know how it's going to play out, Krishna knows how to play it out. He knows how to set all the things up in a row and that it happens in such a way you can never even figure out. And then, like with your dad and, you know, the little temporary exchange, you know, it smoothed over because you were able to honor Telsey Davy in such a way that you both enjoyed. And, you know, it just reminds me that whatever you do, keep Krishna in your heart, on your tongue, in your mind, because you need that contact to live from day to day and to get through situations. Because even if you can't figure out how to do something, Krishna's already got it worked out for you. So yeah, that was nice. Thank you for sharing.
Gauranayananda.
Anyone else want to share before we end? No? No?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for a nice class.
you.
I appreciate from this verse Krishna's slight smile. I am so, I want to see that slight smile on Krishna's face and, you know, envisioning how it might be.
Yes, yes. There's nothing like that slight smile. And with a keen eye observing it, you know that's for you. And there is love there in that transaction. There is nothing like it. I thrive on just getting that side glance or that smile. I agree with you. Totally, totally agree. Thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else? No? All right, we'll end at this point. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Shri Shri Radhakala Chandji Dham ki jai. Vaishnavs ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Hari